I just wonder when they're going to play him. If they play him off the bench, he may be in the early second quarter when Draymond's not on the floor. So I'm always wondering, how you going to guard this guy? How you going to guard? I was asking you earlier, how do the Warriors guard Kristaps Porzingis? I mean, he's like Sean Bradley big, but he can shoot. He makes threes. He can dribble, drive it. Does Draymond get Porzingis again tomorrow?
Yeah.
He sure does.
Look at this guy. He's 7'3", Monty.
He's the tallest man around right now. But Draymond guards Dirk. He guards Blake. He guards all the fours. And Porzingis is at that height, yeah. To me, if you're 7 feet or 7'3", there's not a whole lot of difference. Draymond is 6'6". If he's going to guard Blake at 6'8", and then guard Dirk at 7 feet, he take a chance with this guy.
And just like we saw against San Antonio, he guarded Aldridge.
Yes.
What he's going to do is get up in his grill when he catches the ball and not let him break him down and put it on the floor. Bigs do not like to be guarded like that.
All right, so we're going to see these
player.
two top rookies of the year candidate, along with Karl Anthony Towns in Minneapolis as well. Back-to-back games. Yep. Warriors play in Philly. I assume they're going to bus or train to New York right after the game. And have a Saturday night, New York. And then tomorrow, the world's most famous arena, little White House trip, and then Washington to wind it up. And we kind of slept on the Oklahoma City game. That's a big one coming up a week from today on Super Bowl Eve. We'll be at the arena that one. It'll be a 6 o'clock tip-off. But I think Jim Barnett made a good point. You don't want to try too hard to put this team away in the first quarter, so you save your legs for the Knicks tomorrow. That's when you get a little showtime and a little sloppy. But what's the mindset knowing you got a 7-40 team today and a more challenging game tomorrow and a back-to-back in New York?
You're a much more cerebral, veteran, smart team than Philadelphia. You can pass and shoot. Your offense can click. For me, tonight, the key is get the defense back. They had a real hiccup against Dallas.
Yep.
They got to get it going again. And what's going to cause that defense to get energized? They got to be focused and playing really hard, Monty.
Yeah, they don't have to play great defense because these guys don't have a lot of great shooters. But if you just devote yourself to defense, it'll lead to the offense, and there'll be easy baskets, and then that's when you know they'll have a double-digit lead and be able to win this thing going away.
All right, it's game one of a 3-game road trip for the Golden State Warriors. I think the key to the game is to keep Ish Smith out of the paint. He's just such a great dribble driver. But look at this guy with the 2-ball drill to go against his former AAU teammate and former Warrior teammate, Ish Smith. I'm looking for Curry in there. Is he in there somewhere? There's World B free. One guy can shoot with Curry. It'd be Lloyd Free, sadly.
I need to collect your phone so you can't post.
Klay Thompson torched the Mavs with a season-high 45 as Golden State capped off a 6-game stretch against playoff contenders with a convincing 20-point win. Tonight they begin a 3-game Eastern swing in Philly against a young and improving Sixers squad that features a Rookie of the Year candidate. They do so with 2 newly minted All-Stars as Klay and Dre have been named as Western Reserves. The Warriors are back on the road right now. Beginning in Philadelphia as the Warriors take on the Sixers. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. And the Warriors equaling the best start in NBA history. Looking to keep it rolling at 42-4 and continue their winning ways tonight. Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett. And right now, the Warriors play 10 of their next 12 on the road. You're getting to the midseason All-Star break. It's a mental challenge as well as physical.
And certainly when you come back east and you open up the series with a team with the worst record in the league at 7-40. But remember, it's an early game. You lost 3 hours in the time change there. You've got to come ready. These are NBA players. You've got to come with respect.
You look at the Warriors right now, the last 6 games, maybe the best basketball they have played all year. 6 playoff opponents, 5-1, and the best has brought out the best in the Warriors.
Certainly has. It's good to get a reality check. They got that in Detroit. But then you come and you beat Cleveland by over 30. Then you go to Chicago and you beat them by over 30. And Stephen Curry has just been brilliant in all these games. He plays big against the big ones. He gets 37 points in 28 minutes against San Antonio. Just incredibly what they've been doing offensively, sharing the ball, Bob.
Numerically, they're doing things that haven't been seen before. They're at their absolute peak, and they'll need to play to their standard on this trip.
Well, when you play unselfish basketball and you move the basketball around, they've got so much talent, they're going to be able to score. They just have to stay focused like that, not try to do too much too soon, particularly tonight.
So you look at this road trip, but it's more about the Warriors than it is the opposition. Philly, the Knicks, and D.C. This disjointed traveling back and forth, but keep playing, as Steve Kerr says, to the Warriors standard.
Well, everyone says, oh, these are trap games, and certainly you have to, as I say, come with respect. But I'm concerned about the Knicks and Washington because they're tough on their home court. They have a lot of talent. They're underperforming this year. You just got to play, like you said, to the Warriors standards.
It will be a sellout tonight. The Warriors are the team to see around the NBA. That'll be the case on the road the rest of the year. They packed 3 All-Stars with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson going again, and Draymond Green, his first trip to Toronto with a busload from Saginaw to watch him play. Greg and the guys back in the studio right after this.
Andre Iguodala celebrated his 32nd birthday on Thursday. He's the only Warrior to play in every game, 27.4 minutes a night. He, of course, was a 76er first 8 years of his career. Always plays well in Philadelphia. He's not going to play today. They're going to rest him today because as we bring Gary St. Jean and Monty Poole in studio to rejoin yours truly, Greg Papa, he has a big assignment tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, Stanley.
Carmelo Anthony's playing his best he's played all year. I think there's an ulterior motive, Monty. At halftime, he's going to have a lobster from Bookbinders, a great seafood restaurant in Philadelphia.
I think you're onto something. You'll see them put multiple guys on Carmelo tomorrow. He'll be one of those guys, so they need him out there.
All right, so no Andre Iguodala today off the bench. Everybody else is playing, and the Warriors go to the Garden tomorrow in St. Lee. Is that the Bookbinders on Society Hill?
Society Hill, right behind
Did you
the
ever coach when you were there? Or did you just eat and drink everywhere you went?
That's why I lost so much.
Voice activate.
Time for tip-off. Here's Fitz and JB.
All right, All-Star Draymond Green as we welcome you to Philadelphia, the first of 3 on the road for the Warriors. And the Warriors come into the game resting Andre Iguodala, but still looking to continue this amazing run where they are 5-1 against 6 straight playoff teams. They will not see a playoff team on this road trip, but 10 of the next 12 are on the road. And the Warriors, if they get to March 1, 17 of the final 24 are at home. And so this disjointed January, February, they just got to deal with the travel. Just got back, it seems, from Detroit, Cleveland, and Chicago. Our Xfinity starting lineups with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. For Philadelphia, they've been playing much better basketball of late because of Ish Smith at the point guard spot with Nick Stauskas, Jeremy Grant, Robert Covington, and Nerlens Noel.
1-30 before they acquired Ish Smith, 6-10 since they brought him into Philly. Pretty amazing. A team that is 7-40, and they've got Elton Brand now, sits on the bench there. If they didn't have him, they would certainly be the youngest team in the league, and possibly, Brett Brown said, the youngest team in the history of the league.
Yeah, Philly is 4-2 against the Pacific and 3-38 against everybody else. Kind of odd. Nerlens Noel inside, and Bogut sending it away. Steph Curry, little show and go, and he had it blocked in his own right. Klay Thompson rails a 3.
Always a good sign when he hits his first one.
Actually looking forward to seeing Jahlil Okafor today.
Yes.
And then Kristaps Porzingis tomorrow. So 2 leading candidates for Rookie of the Year. And the wing jumper dropped in nicely. And we start to think of Covington and Jeremy Grant. They're both guys, Jim, that can hit mid-range shots. And Jeremy Grant, the son of Harvey, comes up with a steal and draws the foul. So a roundtable keys to the ball game. What do you got, Jim?
Well, if the Warriors just play their normal game, we talked about it before the game started here tonight, 30 assists and less than 15 turnovers, they'll win the game. Philadelphia turns the ball over more than anyone in the league. You've got to beat them with execution. Don't try to do it all at one time. Execution and discipline. You do that, the talent will prevail.
Jeremy Grant denied by Draymond. It's going to be a Grant weekend, too, because Jaren Grant plays for the Knicks. That's Jeremy's brother. Thompson off iron.
I love the Grant brothers, Horace and Henry. Horace played a few more years and got those championships in Chicago.
Yeah, Horace played 17 years. Harvey played 11 years. And they've produced.
But Jeremy Grant is a rookie last year. He got 65 games played, 11 starts, averaged a little over 6 a game.
So Ish Smith, who was once a Warrior at one point. Jerry Colangelo bringing him from Phoenix. And Brett Brown saying, all right, we got a true point guard, and that's made a bit of difference. Splits the free throws.
I was very impressed with Brett Brown in the pregame press conference. He was so astute, and he's got things under control. But they've got a lot of young players, and even ones that have been hurt, which you and I talked about before the game.
Joel Embiid primarily, as Harrison Barnes hits a triple. Yeah, Brett Brown was an assistant with the Spurs and then also was the Australian national team coach.
He was the workout coach when Steve Kerr was a player there. He was the workout coach specifically with Steve Kerr, so they go way back. A lot of respect.
Nerlens Noel, pretty polished moves, but unable to finish. Weird start time because for the Warriors, it's 2 o'clock body clock time. And at 2 o'clock at home, they're done with practice or they're taking a nap before a game.
It's amazing. They're serious, but they can still have fun in the midst of all of this. You see that time and again.
Klay Thompson offline.
A little bit of a fade there.
Grant with a big step and finished with the left hand. So Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, his size, but his ability to handle the basketball. Pretty nice move and great finish.
Draymond's got his Smith.
That's the guard-to-guard screen there that we've been seeing recently. Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry. And it usually springs one free.
Yeah, Steph missed the wide open shot. That will not happen very often. Ish Smith has worked on his jumper. That's been the big improvement, but missing there. Draymond Green, his first game since being named an All-Star. Childhood dream for Draymond. His mom got to tell him.
Yes.
Just great all the way around. He says, I'm getting the tickets, but everybody else taking a bus from Saginaw. I'll see them all in Toronto. Harrison Barnes on the inbound. A good play by Nerlens Noel, sending him away. Stauskas. And Draymond saved a layup. Nick Stauskas was the 8th pick by the Sacramento Kings. And he was involved in the Jason Thompson trade. This has not had the shooting that he had at Michigan. And Covington hitting the corner three.
Robert Covington, third-year player, never drafted. 4 years at Tennessee State. I like him. He can get hot. That's the quick release.
Curry's missed a couple threes.
Well, Brett Brown said they're going to compete tonight. That's what he wants them to do. It's just play hard.
That ball kicked. Warriors have missed their last 4 shots.
Well, they got Nerlens Noel, a draft night trade with New Orleans. The Drew Holiday trade from Philly to New Orleans.
Well, you think Nerlens Noel and Okafor are going to be the building blocks. Joel Embiid, the 3rd round pick in 2014, the 3rd pick overall.
Yeah.
He has not played a minute.
Yeah, it really hurts him.
All those foot injuries. Stauskas just threw it up.
Well, he's looking for a foul. He thought there should have been a foul. Instead, he made the basket with all that contact.
Klay Thompson, nice finish on the other side.
I tell you, he's understanding how to use that rim as an offensive weapon, isn't he?
Ish Smith, and that should not happen. Very poor Warrior transition defense.
Miscommunication.
Steve Kerr going to take a timeout. I didn't want to see that. So it's the Sixers with 7:45 remaining in the first. The young guys sometimes don't know any better. They've got the Warriors 3 of 9 shooting. And while Klay Thompson continues to score, Philadelphia on the counterattack.
Boulevard, San Jose.
I'm Andre Iguodala, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the NBA champs.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. Warriors
trail the 76ers by 4. The Warriors may be experiencing a golden era now, but it was a process to get to this point. Stephen Curry considered the rebuild that Philadelphia is going through, and he said it takes good health, it takes building through the draft, and it takes having a core group of guys you're comfortable growing with. Well, Steve Kerr also thought about how good of a coach Brett Brown is for this situation, saying his positivity and patience and spirit and energy in the face of a rebuild is remarkable. And he said the team will get there eventually. It just takes time with so many young guys. And Steph finished it by saying, you know, once you get to that point where things are clicking, it's easy not to look back.
Well, I think that's the idea. Building through the draft is one thing. And Brett Brown is coaching every possession and is a perfect instructor. But they just have flat out missed on some draft picks.
Yes, when you do that and you get picks that were hurt, can't play. By the way, Steph Curry, second turnover. And he's just a little out of sync.
Ish Smith missing the jumper. I mean, Embiid, third overall, doesn't play. Dario Saric is still over in Europe. You can't be getting empty picks when you're selecting in the top 5 and the top 10. And the Warriors turn it over again. I mean, you look at the build of the Warriors. From Steph Curry to Klay Thompson to Harrison Barnes to Draymond Green. Those were all drafted players.
And they weren't numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
That's exactly right. And you throw in a Festus Ezeli as well. Stauskas.
That's a nice screen by Jeremy Grant. Kind of a moving screen. You hand off and you get away with that. So Harrison knocks down that shot. He's got 4.
Be interesting.
Excuse me, he's got 5 now.
To see the tempo Philly wants to play.
Well, Brett Brown said we're not going to slow it down. We're not going to play. And Stauskas, he's one guy they've got a war with. They've got to stay with him all the time, fight over the screens. Brett Brown says we're going to run with him. We're not going to be intimidated. We have to play our game too.
Nick Stauskas put a YouTube video when he was in Michigan where he made 70 of 76 threes. Steph saw it and challenged him to a three-point shooting contest, but the NCAA wouldn't allow it. Klay Thompson unable to finish there. Curry with a flyby, and his triple is perfect.
Well, they called the timeout the moment ago. He took one extra shot just for fun, and he missed that. So I'm glad to see him get on track. And that's, again, Stauskas was open there. They're lucky he did not score.
Draymond in full flight. Bogut, basket hanging, got the easy one.
Got purple on the side of the head.
So Brett Brown's going to use the timeout.
Going to stop their little run.
So if they want to run with the Warriors, that'd be just fine. Philadelphia playing some pretty good basketball early. So after the Warriors started 2 of 8, 4 of 5, and back in the game at 17-15 with 5:44 remaining in the first. In Philadelphia, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Ross Gold on Wood A, with the 76ers holding the 2-point advantage. And for the Warriors, you just think of the stretch of basketball they've been on, going 5-1. And our Geico Advanced Analytics, Andre Iguodala, is taking the night off. They're resting him. He's the only Warrior to have played every game this year. Off the bench, he has been a revelation the last couple seasons.
I love the plus-minus. He's just amazing with that. He could get a great plus-minus score and not even shoot the ball.
Yep.
Out of dribbling by Ish Smith there.
Nerlens Noel springing free. Steph Curry and Klay with Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Bogut. Pocket 6. Draymond had Noel coming from the weak side, but Bogut was there to tip it in.
Well, when you draw a double team, you take the big man away from the hoop, you're going to have a field day, and now Curry's got a steal.
Beautiful midcourt steal by Steph. And the Splash Brothers working perfectly together. Hollis Thompson getting his first playing time, the 6th man for Philadelphia.
Turnovers yield points.
Jeremy Grant took it to trouble. Draymond got a steal while he was sitting down, but Noel re-steal. Draymond another one. And then Bogut the block. 2 steals and a block, sending Philly away.
Here he goes.
I think I've seen that play before. Same cross-court pass, same 3, same players.
The Warriors can erase a lead like no other team in this league.
13-0 run.
I mean, they're down by 7. All of a sudden, they're up by 6.
Stauskas had nowhere to go. Got it to Thompson. Draymond making sure the Warriors keep putting the pressure on Philly. Klay Thompson, how hot am I? And misfiring on that 3.
No lack of confidence.
Stauskas with the closeout by Draymond Green, but Noel the offensive rebound. And cutting Klay again.
A lot of fans are rooting for the Warriors here. We could tell that before the game.
Brett Brown's going to use a 22nd timeout. So 15 unanswered. 13 in the first by Klay Thompson. And the Warriors start playing defense.
Great anticipation. And of course, he's going to find clear across court. Another great shooter coming off a 45-point game. Klay did at home.
How about this sequence? Couple steals and the Bogut block.
Took a page out of Iguodala's book, and then the block, and then again cross court. Skip pass.
I'm going to ask a rhetorical question on the other Klay 3. What is Nick Stauskas doing leaving Klay Thompson?
Well, the Warriors left Nick Stauskas down here a couple times too.
I'm asking particularly because Nick Stauskas was the one guarding Klay Thompson when he scored 37 in a quarter.
Oh, yes, okay.
If I was Nick Stauskas, I would have been waiting for Klay at the hotel and never left him.
Or the airport.
Or the airport.
Good question.
If a guy hit me for 37 in 9 minutes, the next time I saw him, I would never leave him. So this is the largest disparity tonight between records in NBA history. Wow. 42-14 taking on a 7-40 team.
TJ McConnell in the rookie from Arizona has got the ball.
Another undrafted player on this Sixer roster. And Jahlil Okafor, 3rd pick overall. Getting the playing time. McConnell hitting the jumper. Now Okafor had a bit of a stomach issue. That's why he did not start tonight.
McConnell shoots 47%, and he's made 23s. He's at 33% there, but you got to respect him as a shooter. Back door.
Curry with the floater before Okafor could get there.
Best in the league with that little flip. Rarely gets a shot blocked in that same kind of scenario.
Okafor's their leading scorer at 17 a game. Covington. Strong take and followed his own shot.
I'm telling you, he's a very underrated player.
See, I think in terms of building through the draft, Covington's undrafted, McConnell's undrafted. Draymond flipping it up and in and drawing the foul.
Again, when you move the ball, you get people moving, you get bigger people trying to grab, defend somebody on the exterior out there, and Draymond Green is just getting more fluid all the way.
Finish what the Philly thought. Hollis Thompson is also undrafted. So 3 of your top 8 players weren't even selected in the draft. That just shows in terms of the rebuild, they've got to be more accurate in their top picks.
Yeah, when you're playing guys that were not drafted and your draft picks aren't there.
Okafor is going to be a good draft pick. He's very polished. It's like Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota.
Yep. So he could go 1 year at Duke, especially at Duke, because he played 38 games there. They won the championship.
Barbosa and Brandon Rush getting their playing time with Mo Spates. Steph, sideline 3 is good.
It's all about people movement, ball movement. It's difficult to guard, difficult to defend. You just get a little brush screen, and of course Steph Curry only needs a little bit of daylight. Very little.
Hollis Thompson, his corner 3, and Brandon Rush, that was a smart tip. Got it to Spates, and then the lob to Draymond.
That's a mistake Philly not getting back. They've been caught a couple times that way now. And it's just young players, inexperience, court awareness.
Connell creating, and Brandon Rush sent him away. Isaiah Cannon, who's a very good three-point shooter. You saw him in Houston.
Yep. 34th overall pick. A couple years back. All 4 years at Murray State. So he learned how to play.
And the steal on Steph. Cannon couldn't finish the layup.
He did the right thing, though. One-on-one, go right to the hoop.
Barbosa drawing that defense, and McConnell with a steal. Philly was frisky defensively. Mo Spates got a piece of it, but a good follow shot by Hollis Thompson.
I'll tell you what, that is a great read by the rookie McConnell, knowing that Draymond Green's going to try to find Stephen Curry. He was defending 2 men. He went the right way.
And McConnell played the D. Steph with a rare air ball. Curry's 3 of 7. Clay was 5 of 9. The Warriors at 58%. Got a 3-second game shot clock difference winding down this first quarter. And you were right on it, Jim. Philly, they're not worried about slowing things down at all. They've been running up and down with the Warriors the whole quarter. It's been fun. Both the 4 with the offensive foul. Draymond Green moved the feet and smartly did not reach. Guessed right on a spin move, and it's not easy to do at full speed.
Well, Philly would be happy with 28, but they did give up 34 and counting, but did not go.
So at the end of one, the Warriors close it on a 24-11 run. But the Sixers, they were game a year ago when it was 89-84, and they're game tonight.
The top leading scoring team in the league leads right now against the lowest scoring team in the league, 34-28 after one.
Area.
In Philadelphia, and one of the more interesting sports complexes in the country. They have their baseball stadium, their NFL stadium, and their hockey NBA shared stadium all in the same complex. It's really good city planning, and it's always kind of fun to come to see this part of the city. Is Mo Spates, an original Sixer, dropping in the jumper. Cannon, Cannon could shoot threes.
They're not holding back, are they?
You better not leave Isaiah Cannon. So Mo Spates, along with Barbosa and Livingston, Harrison Barnes, and Brandon Rush, no Iguodala. And with his second unit, he facilitates a lot, Jim. So see how the reserves work together with the shot clock at 3.
A 2-man jump at Harrison, and he delivered there. Nicely done. Didn't force it initially. Wanted to make sure the pass, and the bounce pass was beautiful.
Lead at 7. We check in with Roz.
In the last timeout, Coach Kerr warned his team. He said, we have to take care of the ball. Their guys are fast and athletic. Be smart.
And I think Jim had talked about they want to play at speed and use that youth and athleticism. Okafor drawing the blocking foul.
I'm going back to Cannon there because he's hit 2 threes already. The next one will be his 100th of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not bad.
No, he first burst on the scene when he was playing with the Rockets, and he kind of said, wait, who's this guy? I mean, he can shoot threes. I think if you watch Duke basketball, you know who this guy is. Jahlil Okafor went 3rd. Karl-Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell taken before him. Misfiring on the free throw. Tonight's game, all Warrior games on CSN are streamed live via the NBC Sports Live Extra app. You can do it on your mobile phone or tablet. Stream the Warriors on the go. This is a huge building. The Flyers play here in the NHL. And everyone in Philly said, hey, this Warrior game's sold out. And it's where the Warriors go now. I mean, the interest around the country for the Dubs is just remarkable.
So, in age comparison, this and the United Center in Chicago. United Center's older, I would think.
I think so.
Although this, for some reason, when you get back to Philly and New York and Baltimore,
Everything seems older?
It seems older.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the history. I don't know.
Hollis Thompson with a deep 2. And so the Sixers are acquitting themselves very well.
They shoot a lot of threes, so they're not afraid to launch from out there.
Their biggest lead was 11.
They shoot more than their opponents, not when they're playing the Warriors, but I like the little hesitation that Leandro Barbosa showed you there. You know, you stop, and then all of a sudden the defense stops. You go again, you hold up a little bit. He gets them off balance.
So McConnell and Okafor with Hollis Thompson, Cannon, and Covington for Philadelphia. Covington, talking about a green light from one of the starters. Livingston had knocked that away. He just turned around and said, "I was shooting anyway." Livingston on the post-up. John's got time to do a little work. The baseline jumper.
I'll tell you, only in the NBA now where you make a cross-court pass, drop-in pass to a guy posting up. It used to be, you got to throw it in from the same side where he is. No longer.
Don't worry, it's your 6'7" backup point guard, too.
Throw it over the top.
Putting him on the block.
Let him go get it. They're giving anything outside, and you can see where Okafor wants to go.
You see the skills right there.
Yep.
Fadeaway 8-footer.
He learned from that other mistake when he tried to force it inside.
Right.
Ran over somebody.
Yep.
Put on the brakes there.
You made a good point. 38 games under Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
As Barbosa hits a 3. And Brett Brown's going to use the timeout. 8:57 remaining in the first half. You can see why the Sixers are playing better basketball. They got some pieces that are fun, but the Warriors are so deep, and the Brazilian Blur is ready to roll. Oh, the Rocky statue is symbolic of Philadelphia, the fighting city of brotherly love. With the Warrior lead at 9, our McDonald's true story. Go back to 75-76 and 3 All-Stars. Jamal Wilkes, Bill Smith, and Rick Barry all went to the All-Star game. And now this year, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, 3 All-Stars. And I love both those teams. That's 74-75, 75-76, and obviously the current Warriors.
Yeah, I missed that one by 1 year back in 74-75. That year, by the way, 75-76, the Warriors won 59 games.
Yep.
They won 48 the year before when they won the championship. But Rick Barry just should have been MVP of the league.
Cannon is now hit 3 threes.
He's got 100 on the season, and they've got 5 made in the game, Philadelphia does.
We promised during Warrior pregame live that the Warrior reserves would get to play, and Ian Clark had it stolen and then made up for it with a block shot.
What a defensive play by Ian Clark.
Now, when you watch Ian Clark play and handle the ball, it's an area he's got to work on. He has had the ball stolen a couple times under heavy pressure, but you love Ian Clark because after giving up the ball in a turnover, he did not give up on the play.
Well, McConnell made a great play up top, but he knocked the ball away, and you go to pick it up, he's diving on the floor for it, so he kept the ball alive for him.
It's almost like McConnell's an undrafted free agent trying to make the league. Oh, wait, he is.
He got a shot if he wants it, but he's trying to play team ball, and that's what you get.
Great look by Mo, and no one works the baseline better than Livingston.
Well, he saturated the play all the way through because he had a shot anytime he wanted it, and he loves to shoot it from that spot.
Hollis Thompson setting up McConnell, back to Jeremy Grant. But the foul is before the basket.
He reminds me of his father, I'll tell you that. So here's Mo, top of the circle up there, looking for anyone cutting. And watch on the right side. There's the back screen by Leandro Barbosa for Sean Livingston. See, people don't expect it. So someone guarding Livingston says, okay, Barbosa's coming down. You know, he's 6'2". He's not going to do much. I'm not worried about it. All of a sudden, he puts a little screen on you, and they don't switch. That's a defensive mistake.
Jason Thompson is from about a half hour outside of Philly. Was a Sixer in name only after being traded by the Kings before the Warriors acquired him, and he checks in right now.
As I said, you've got to respect these guys, even players that aren't drafted. I mean, McConnell's played well. And by the way, Jason Thompson, his father, we walked right by him, talked to him just briefly as we were coming up to get settled in here.
Clay with the little runner. JT had an event for his foundation last night. And a lot of the Warrior players attended that. Hollis Thompson missing short. So Klay Thompson, Hollis Thompson, and Jason Thompson.
Well, Grant didn't come out on Harrison. I like that one dribble jab step that he has. He's really more comfortable taking his jump shot after he's had one or two dribbles. So he stepped right into that. And the threat of going to the basket gave him room.
Harrison, good D, and Jeremy Grant scored anyway.
He's strong.
Sixers shooting 50%, except the Warriors are shooting 65% and 7 in a row. Klay Thompson is rolling. 45 against Dallas, 17 in the first half here.
Well, we'll see how it carries out over the next 6+ minutes, but Philadelphia has to be happy with their offense. I mean, and Steve Kerr will talk about that with his team at halftime.
I think Philly is playing great. They're just watching the Warriors shoot 65%, and Okafor banging it in off the glass.
Well, even though it is a Saturday, the bank was open for him today.
There you go. There's the Barnes halfway down and out. Donald just penetrating to set up players, and he got Okafor to the line. So entertaining game with the timeout on the floor, scoring end to end, and the Sixers scrappy thus far.
My name is Kieran Griffin. I work here.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. Warriors up 9 on the 76ers. The Golden State Warriors were named co-retailer of the year by the NBA, sharing the honor with the Toronto Raptors. In tonight's Ford Right Choice, we take a look at how they were able to win this award. After extensive review, it showed the Warriors were innovative in their marketing and merchandising programs, their breadth of product assortment, customer shopping experience, and overall sales success. It's the second time the Warriors have won this award. The Warriors are the NBA's #1 selling merchandise team, and Warriors.com sales have hit an all-time high with the largest selection of Warriors merchandise ever.
It is ridiculous the amount of fervor we see even outside the Bay Area. And I also think when you talk to fans, and not only fans of the way the Warriors play, the Warriors gear is good looking. The logos, the color scheme, the variety. They're wearing the slate jerseys tonight, and I think people get a kick out of a lot of different options.
Well, you see that number 30? I just ordered 3 of those. 3 jerseys, and you know what number it had to be. And those are for some little auction gifts, if you will.
We had a first during that timeout. The bucket by McConnell was taken away due to a shot clock violation. They went to replay during the dead ball, and this was back at the 7.5 mark.
Interesting.
And it was a leaner, and they just went back and said, nope, that was not gotten off in time. And so they've adjusted the score.
That was that little one he penetrated into the lane there and kind of shot it awkwardly. Yep.
That's just something in Secaucus. They can always help out. The game officials just asked for it. And Draymond Green, nice take on Jeremy Grant.
Well, he just bowled his way into there and finished it. As I say, his finesse game is coming around. I mean, that's not an easy shot to complete with that kind of contact that you're going with and banging it off the board.
This becomes the Warriors' biggest lead thus far. Ish Smith, along with Cannon, Okafor, Jeremy Grant, and Stauskas. Got a bunch of shooters around the arc, and Jim promised threes, and Philly's not afraid to pull the trigger. Draymond, that's an early rim run, and he got the seal, and he got rewarded. You just sprint right below that circle, seal your man, and the Warriors know to look.
All the Warriors have to do is just tighten up their defense a little bit, get some more stops, because they're scoring at will.
Jason Thompson with a body bump on Okafor. You know, as a guard, Jim, when a big sprints down, you better reward him with the ball.
Well, a nice steal, but you saw him put his left hand out there, so the pass has to come away from the defender, and it came perfectly then.
And it's also something you talk about. Run to see what you might get.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
if it's there, great. If not, you peel out and run your half-court set. Jason Thompson, good defense. Ish Smith couldn't finish. Draymond, good effort for that rebound. The Warriors are 11 of 13 in this quarter. They have been relentless shooting the ball. It's Warrior ball out of bounds. Ian Clark's going to come back in. Tag out Sean Livingston. I know that with the Knicks game tomorrow and a lot of this travel and kind of a funky part of the schedule, Steve Kerr is going to look at tonight in terms of minutes. And Iguodala's getting the night off. He's not going to burn out Sean. Shot clock at 3, and Nerlens Noel picked the pocket of Klay Thompson.
Because of the shot clock, it's too late to set the screen. Thompson really didn't look for the screen. He just wanted to go one-on-one and then go up and over.
Ish Smith scuffling with that jumper a little bit. He's 1 of 5.
Now he's comfortable there.
Yeah, Klay can shoot over Cannon.
Yeah, exactly. He's not looking for a screen, then all of a sudden you get a bigger player switching on you.
Cannon? That kid can shoot. I'm telling you.
There's no reason to stand in no man's land, and that means down by the circle. You better be out. You're not getting help anyway from the weak side. Nice play.
That's Klay setting up Jason Thompson.
They better look for number 0. And there he is going backdoor.
Well, he's only made 4 threes in the first half in 9 minutes.
And they're all catch and shoot.
Draymond recovered, but then a little too much contact. You know, you want to talk about rebuilds, Jim, and how exceptional Bob Myers and his staff has been. When I see Stauskas, I think of Stauskas and Jimmer Fredette, who were 2 Sacramento Kings picks.
Yes.
And when you
only one survived.
When you're in the top 10, you can't swing and miss. You don't have to hit a home run, but you got to get a base hit. You know, that's the reward for being a poor team, is selecting in the top 10, and you got to get players. Jeremy Grant dropping in the free throw. Well, the all-star apparel. Steph, Klay, and Dre are all going to Toronto. Player jerseys, t-shirts, women's, men, and youth sizes. Everything available at Warriors.com. Get that Western Conference all-star gear. You don't have to find Steph Curry with the 7th pick, but when you're selecting Jimmer Fredette before Klay Thompson and Stauskas is the 8th pick and you already trade him away, that's going to slow down your development of the team. It's hurt the Kings. They're coming back behind DeMarcus Cousins, but the Sixers' empty picks that bother them as Bogut committed a foul, tipping that in. He went over the back. Steve Kerr did not agree, to say the least. 2:47 the mandatory, and the Warriors are shooting it at about 75% since the early minutes.
You taking a Zumba class?
I'm Stephen Curry, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Day-Day!
Ma!
Day-Day!
Ma!
Day-Day!
Ma!
How you doing? Just wanted to come through here and tell you that we love you, D. I mean, you know, hey, Day-Day, guess what? You're an all-star!
What's up?
Did you hear what she said there, Draymond? Your mom just gave you the news. Did you hear what she said?
How does she know this and I don't know this is my question. Wow. Y'all won't catch me crying on TV. Y'all almost got me, but y'all not going to get me this time. Man, it's amazing, though. I don't know. I'm lost for words now.
That was one of the great setups with our buddy Jim Kozamore on Comcast Sports Talk Live. And it's, okay, hey, Draymond, do this interview with Jim, and the Warriors are on that show quite a bit. And then get Mom Mary and the whole clan to tell Draymond via the talkback that you made the All-Star team. That was just terrific. Our buddy Raymond Ritter, Warriors VP of Public Relations, set that up, and it was a great moment. And for Draymond Green to say, hey, I was about to cry. Like, you know, and he said, if I cry on TV, it'll be everywhere, all over the internet. So we had to hold firm, but he was very emotional.
Absolutely. I mean, he knows how much his mother has done for him through the years. He loves her. I love that he expressed that. And Draymond Green, I love men that will make themselves vulnerable. And that's exactly what that showed there.
Well, you know what I like is that's the happy part of the story, Jim. They had something similar set up when the starters were announced and had to cancel that because he didn't make the starting Western team because Kawhi Leonard had the surge in voting. So that ends up being a great positive story out of something that was a little disappointing.
Here's a little positive. The Warriors throwing the ball away, and looks like they've called a foul.
A little bit of a bailout. Nerlens Noel with the infraction. So Stauskas and Cannon playing with Nerlens Noel. Ish Smith. Robert Covington.
No screen necessary. Going back to that little jump shot right over a smaller player.
I tell you, Clay and Harrison have gotten so good at that. The Warriors don't run a ton of ISOs, but if you want to play small against them, remember Clay's 6'7". He'll just take advantage.
What Clay has now, he's got always had the catch and shoot. So now he's got post up scoring, and then he's got moves to the hoop. He's handling the ball much better. How about a little pull-up jumper? But he's getting the complete game, which makes him more of a threat and a scorer each and every night.
Nerlens Noel missing on one end. Ian Clark wants that layup back.
We've seen the number of free throws. What was it the other day? He went, what, 12 for 12? 10 for 10?
10 of 10.
Yeah.
And Bogut blocking that. A lot of the Warriors have gotten the haircut in advance of their Washington, D.C. visit. But Andrew Bogut's got the full Fu Manchu going as well, intimidating at the rim.
I don't know where they called the contact there. Pretty good block.
Now, Jim, one of your roundtable keys to the game was 30 assists. You need to be more specific in those because the Warriors have 24 and the first half isn't done yet. Did you want all 30 in the first half?
24 on 28 made baskets?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that means the ball is hopping. They're doing it and playing the right way.
I know you're a taskmaster, but did you want all 30 assists in the first half?
I know what you're saying. Yes, why not? Well, if it ended after that, wouldn't be good. I wouldn't want to watch the second half.
Well, you're Brett Brown. You're saying, we're playing the world champs. We're playing very well.
Well,
there's another one, the lob to Bogut.
He can show this team the video here and say, this is the way you play basketball. Makes everybody else better. You bring out the best in everyone.
They've already put this consecutive game streak of 30 or more assists. And they're going to get that again tonight. And there's what Stauskas can do is when you can make 70 of 76 threes, you clearly are a shooter, but you see him sub 40 in the NBA, and it's hard to kind of comprehend. Steph Curry dropping in that three. So
well, they got 69. They're not going to reach the season high for first half, which is 79. That was at Indiana. So we can be disappointed.
There's room to work on things.
That's what I'm saying. Here's a deep one.
Covington. Long rebound. Ish Smith inside. Ish Smith able to finish. And
should have been an assist, but it doesn't count.
The Warriors are one off the franchise record for assists and a half.
They just made it.
And they would have had it.
They had it. So they've tied it. That would have made it.
They're at 25 assists. They're going back to 93 for that number of assists and a half. It would have been 26 had that layup not rolled off.
One of 2 or 3 easiest shots of the evening.
Should get one more possession. 6 seconds to work with. Bogut finding Steph, and he will lay it up and in.
How about that pass from Bogut? Don't foul here.
And the runner by Ish Smith will end it.
That was one incredible pass. More than half the court on the bounce from Andrew.
Well, you're talking 70 seasons of Warrior basketball, and you've just watched a sharing in the first half that is historic. 26 assists in a half of basketball, and a 73-54 lead. And Roz is alongside the All-Star, Draymond Green. And we're having a little technical thing, getting Roz and Draymond hooked up there. And so we will move on as the Warriors lead 73-54 at the half. Playing great basketball. Sharing the ball. The All-Stars playing accordingly. And our Jack in the Half is on the way.
Warriors basketball.
We had no business.
The Warriors offensively right now are just on fire as Naughty by Nature is performing at halftime at the Wells Fargo Center. I think the 76ers defense a little naughty by nature. They're getting carved up. The Warriors with 26 first half assists on 32 made baskets. Welcome in studio to Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean. Clay was hot the other night with 45 points. He came out hot right away, and Steph made sure to get the ball to Klay Thompson to get off on a nice roll, Saint.
Trust me, this is a knack. When a dribbler penetrates to the basket, you have to drift in his vision. See how Klay spots up there on both of these threes? They were both the same looking play, but he gets those feet set. Stauskas is late running out at him. That's where he's special. There's a little hesitation, a little step back and finish. The in-between game, we've seen him off the bounce and in the post. This is why he's coming off 45, and he's got 20-plus tonight.
21. Steph has 13. Draymond has 10. But the ball movement, St. Lee, 26 first-half assists. The Warriors last 5 games averaging 125.2. Right now, there's no stopping this team offensively.
Great defense, gets you in the open floor, quality shots, 2 points.
All right. Naughty by nature. Again, I'm laying 2-1. Barnett jumps in there at some point because he, too, is naughty by nature. We'll get you a key if there is one. Maybe the key to the city of Philadelphia, St. Lee. Welcome back to Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. St. Lee, do you have a key for the second half?
Well, in honor of Joe Frazier, a Philly guy, knock him out right here in the third quarter. Don't give him a thought that they can get back in this game. You've got a tough back-to-back up in New York tomorrow.
And the Warriors are actually going to fly to New York after the game. They're not going to bust. So they're up 19, knock them out early, maybe stretch out the lead to 30, and then not play Steph and Klay and Bogut. You're not playing Iguodala at all in the game, so let them rest and watch the fourth quarter.
Let them get down there in the fourth quarter and sit down and relax and take care of this. But really a quality performance, movement of the ball, very special.
Warriors twice before in their history had 26 assist halves. They just had another one. All 11 guys that played had at least 1 assist. Draymond had 6, and Steph had 5. Naughty by nature, entertaining at halftime.
Barnett.
Is that Barnett right there?
Getting to the
Philadelphia, where the Warriors were just special offensively with 26 assists. And after his 45-point game, Klay Thompson has 21 in the first half. Our KFC bucket chart brought to you by your hometown KFC. He's doing it again, Jim, not only with the threes, but these drives to the basket and the movement without the ball.
Well, he just knows how to get open. He knows people are going to find him. Everyone, as you look at this bucket chart, on the Warriors, every player that played, 11, had at least 1 assist.
Yep.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. I've seen this before. Klay Thompson hitting threes, running the court, and the defense inside, particularly in early offense, has been very porous from Philadelphia's standpoint. But Klay just keeps shooting up and over smaller people. He just makes it look easy.
All 3 Warrior All-Stars have double-figure scoring in Draymond, Klay, and Steph Curry. And the 75% shooting in that second quarter. And, yeah, assist-to-turnover ratio, you would take that for a game. That's the half, 26-8.
Well, Steve Kerr was looking for a 2-to-1 team assist-to-turnover ratio, and they're just going and blowing that right out of the building.
They have the big lead at the half, trying to take care of the Sixers. The third quarter on the way. Well, the Warriors came in at 42-4, equaling the best start in NBA history with a previous Philadelphia team. They're halfway through, keeping that rolling with, of course, like cold hard facts. What more can you say about Draymond Green? I think his improvement numerically is so stark, and then he has shot the ball infinitely better, but then the rebounding, not surprising that he would triple that from his rookie year.
With playing time.
But the assist from less than 1 a game to 7, and I just can't get over Draymond at a 41% three-point shooter.
Yeah, a little over 41%. We used to kind of hold our breath when he would take those shots his first couple of years, but he's obviously worked on everything. And you can't even show the stat, which is probably his greatest asset, the ability to defend so many different people and defend bigger people. I mean, we're talking 6'11", 7-footers. He can defend them. Look how he does with Timofey Mozgov against Cleveland. He's remarkable.
So the 26 assists tie the franchise record for a half, and all 11 players that played had an assist. Clay stopped cutting down the lane, and the Warriors turn it over, and Philadelphia responds in a giving mood themselves.
That turnover by Draymond Green, he was trying to execute a lot like Andrew Bogut. Okay, you're going to turn the corner. I've got your man on my hip. I know you're going to be open. Let's turn the corner. I'm going to lead you to the basket. But he did not follow. And then Philadelphia helps you out. They were good. Only 5 assists, 5 turnovers in that first half. For Philly, that was good for them.
Shot clock at 4, and that's just what Bogut does. Sets up Klay Thompson on the cut.
Well, they've got a nice thing going now. The rhythm that Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson have with Andrew Bogut. It just was not there 2 years ago. Wasn't there quite last year. Now they've got a lot of trust in that. That's a heck of a pass.
And Bogut came from the weak side and put hands of Harrison Barnes. You're not going to see James Michael McAdoo or Festus Ezeli or Iguodala tonight. A little miscommunication there.
Well, Draymond's got 2 quick turnovers there, trying to make things happen. And
Covington missing that.
I'm going to finish that thought in a minute because it's important. You know, I was going to say, as you and I talked before the game, I believe we talked on pregame live with Gary and Monte and Greg, that, you know, don't try to end the game real quick. Just execute and do the right things. Don't try to manufacture plays when they aren't there and just do too much. Just, it's all about fundamentals, execution, just like that, and you get normal plays, and the talent then will rise to the top.
The football equivalent would be trying to complete 80-yard touchdown passes. The baseball one would be trying to hit home runs every time you bat.
Exactly.
This is just possession by possession. Execute, move the ball, and just be the great team that you are.
Right. You do the right things, and you've got the most talent, the better shooters, the better shot blockers. I'm not sure, though, because Philadelphia's #1 in block shots. I guess it doesn't lead to wins.
Oh, Nerlens Noel dunking it down and drawing the foul. That was a nice baseline cut. Bogut with 3 fouls, and we said no McAdoo and no Ezeli behind him tonight.
Yeah, you turn your head, and all of a sudden you turn around, your man's cut to the hoop. So I'm just curious about Noel. They list him at 6'11". Now, is that the top of his hair? Or is it, if you push that hair down, would he be 6'9"? Seriously. How do they measure that?
Is this spinning off the Ben Wallace night where we had the fear of the fro and Ben is closely shorn now? Bogut finding Klay Thompson. Andrew keeping it alive again. And then finally pulled by Covington.
A good recovery by Draymond there.
Stauskas threw it away.
He came out to defend the 3. Stauskas should be able to take him off the dribble, you would think. Couldn't do it.
I guarantee when you talk about not going for the home run and playing at a high level, Steve Kerr told these guys, hey, a year ago it was 89-84. We won the game, but it was a lethargic, sloppy, just poor basketball. And this half is gotten off to that kind of feel.
Yep, they're giving up the inside punch here. There's that screen again, the guard-to-guard play.
Klay Thompson continues to find layup after layup. Well, he's got 28.
Pretty good hands there in the scramble. But again, for a team that leads the league in blocking shots, they've been porous inside. The Warriors scoring tons of points in the paint.
You just look at Philadelphia and you wonder, okay, who are the building blocks? Draymond setting that up. That pass a little low and kicked, and so the Warriors turn it over. Who are the building blocks for Philly? You know Okafor, you know Nerlens Noel.
Right.
You wonder if they're ever going to get Sarge to come overseas, or if you're going to ever see Embiid. I don't know that Ish Smith is their starting point guard of the future. This is year 6 for him.
And what's Rashawn Holmes out of Bowling Green going to be?
I mean, they probably would be hoping for Ben Simmons out of LSU. But this is a team that, this is year 5 of trying to rebuild, and finally the league actually got involved and brought Jerry Colangelo in to help the front office, and then he brought Mike D'Antoni in as associate coach.
But if something doesn't happen even now, I'm talking this year will be the fewest number of wins in the last 3, when they won 19 and 63 back in 13-14, 14-15. Last year they won 18 games, so we get 19-18. They're not on that pace right now.
Yeah.
It's not good. And
there's some Barnes missing that corner 3.
And I'm telling you, Don Nelson was the greatest proponent about this. It's tough to win in this league with rookies on your roster.
Yeah, and Terry Cummings said it too. He said young guys don't mentor other young guys.
Right.
You know, and so, but I think that with all the salary cap room and building a team, veterans, you have to have a chance of being a winning team to come sign as a free agent and things of that nature. I like Brett Brown, and I like some of the pieces they have, but they're still a long way away as Bogut finds Curry again.
What you do is you mesmerize your defender. Ish Smith thought that Curry had already been through all the moves, the cuts, the back cuts, and what have you, and he just kept rotating, and all of a sudden he gets a layup.
So Andrew Bogut, 13 boards, 4 assists, and the lead is large.
Hello, everyone. I'm Henry Woodford. Super Bowl 50 festivities are officially underway. 3-time Super Bowl champion Roger Craig kicked things off by delivering the Lombardi Trophy to the NFL Experience at Moscone Center. We're prepared for the biggest game in sports. In-depth Super Bowl coverage coming up on Sportsnet Central immediately after Warriors post-game live. Back out to Fitz and JB.
It's going to be quite the week, Henry, around the Bay Area when you think of not only the Warriors at the Knicks tomorrow, which is always fun to go to New York, but then all the Super Bowl build-up during the week. Warriors then, I think, in the mix for that Super Bowl build-up with the Oklahoma City game the Saturday night before the Super Bowl.
An early game, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. But Kevin Durant had some thoughts today, Jim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where he said, it's not like the Spurs and Warriors are light years ahead of us. Well, the Thunder, you know, and I would agree that with KD that I think they are probably the 3rd best team in the league as Okafor commits the offensive foul. LeBron might disagree with that. But
well, Toronto's won 10 games in a row, and they're 31-15. Oklahoma City, 36-13.
Yeah,
Toronto, 10 in a row.
So the 3 left against the Spurs, but also all 3 left against the Thunder. So Durant and Westbrook the night before the Super Bowl. That's going to be a great game. Draymond Green is not going to be happy with his 3rd quarter. He rarely turns it over, and he's had 3 misfires. Andrew Bogut has 14 boards, and Draymond has 12. I mean, the 4-5 combo has been spectacular on the defensive glass. Draymond had another one go awry as we check in with Roz.
Guys, even in a game where the score is not close, Coach Kerr is still coaching. He told them, don't let scoring dictate how we play. We have 4 to 5 turnovers trying to pass, but we're not executing. The beauty of the game is in the execution.
Well, it's not beautiful execution this quarter. There's too many turnovers. And that's a risky pass there.
9 turnovers in the first half and 5 here in the third, and apparently Bogut became invisible on that play.
It's amazing. Okafor comes over to help on Klay Thompson, and no one slides down from up top, knowing Bogut is right there for an easy dunk. No one comes down.
There was no one in the lane, like in the painted area at all. That's one of the weirdest half-court plays I've seen. And even Bogut looked around.
Yeah,
did they blow a whistle? Did they stop the play? What's going on here?
And there was so much time. They could have called the 3-second violation on it. A little hyperbole there.
There's nobody in the lane.
Not at all. No one came down. and this is, as I said, these are young, inexperienced players.
Steph Curry, off back iron.
And you knew it wasn't going in because it's not flowing right now.
A little disjointed. Cannon and Bogut kind of land on him. Well, they're both okay.
He was finally challenged. He'd been 4 for 4 in the first half.
Klay Thompson unable to finish with the left hand there.
A little ragged right now.
It's human nature. You don't just continue to crush elite playoff teams, then put up 26 assists in the first half and just continue. It's like golfers. You don't birdie 17 holes out of 18 that you play.
We got the 3 All-Stars with 12 turnovers. Yeah. Among them. Okay? 12. Draymond's got 5 now.
Now you're getting air balls and others. There's Jakar Sampson getting his first playing time.
I don't know many teams that can turn the ball over 6 times in 7 minutes and still maintain the lead that they had at halftime.
Now Sampson, a second-year player out of St. John's, he also was undrafted. As Curry misses that 3. Okafor will track it down.
They've actually increased the lead, even with the turnovers.
Well, Philly played well in that first half. And Curry with the block at the top.
That was all ball. Wasn't that Thompson? Watch it. A lot of times people think it's a foul. And when a man goes up with the ball and he does not let loose of the ball and give it away, and the defender holds on, and you keep holding on, that's what happens. You fall to the floor. It's no foul.
So timeout on the floor with 4:25 remaining in the third. And even when you challenge inside, you'll see point guards play defense on the Warriors.
Here on Sportsnet Central.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. Warriors up big on the 76ers. Stephen Curry is reimagining the point guard position in the NBA, and Steve Kerr compared him to 2 former NBA point guards, Mark Price of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Steve Nash of the Phoenix Suns, as far as their ability and combination of passing, shooting range, ball handling, and creativity. Steve remembered Price being the first point guard he saw split the double for floaters in the lane, and said Nash and Coach Mike D'Antoni in Phoenix changed the way the league looks and operates. But Kerr said Steph has taken the point guard position to a new level as far as range, ball handling, and creativity. Jim, how would you compare those 3 players?
Well, I know this. Hard to find a better shooter than Mark Price when he was open. But point guards have evolved through the years, and they become more important. 20 years ago, they weren't as important as they are today. Look what Ish Smith has done for Philadelphia.
I think that Nash and Steph offensively, there's a lot of good comparisons there as Hollis Thompson scores. The difference is Steph is a far better defender than Steve Nash ever was.
Yes.
But Mark Price, and I'm glad that Roz brought that up with Coach, Mark Price was an elite 3-point shooter, played with speed, was a great free thrower at 90%. And when you think of Mark Price and Larry Nance and Brad Daugherty, Craig Elo, that Cleveland team gave the Bulls team all they would ever want. And it was only Michael Jordan that really prevented Cleveland from being an elite team for a number of years. And so,
yes, I remember he finally made that shot over Craig Elo.
He did. And so that's, that Mark Price, I'm glad that name bubbles up and it gets brought up in those comparisons.
Yeah, you don't hear it too often. I'll tell you another thing about Mark Price. He didn't turn the ball over. His assist-to-turnover ratio was fantastic. Now, Steve Nash, obviously 2-time MVP. He could do everything, but I agree with you. Defensively, wasn't, at an elite level. And Steph Curry's not at an elite level yet. I mean, he's getting better. He's so much better than he was 2 years ago.
That's right.
And I always like Mark Price. I mean, he just cut your heart out.
Livingston a little flat on the mid-range. T.J. McConnell playing with Cannon. Jakar Sampson, Jahlil Okafor, and Hollis Thompson right now for Philadelphia. Sampson, pretty aggressive for it, gets his own miss. It's the heel of the rim. So for the Warriors, up 20, but kind of a ragged third, featuring a lot of turnovers after a brilliant first half. And yet this group may get all the minutes to finish it off as Brandon Rush misses that corner jumper.
Well, they got their 30+ assists. But the price they paid were a few turnovers. This is a tough shot.
Look at the skill level of Okafor as he draws the foul.
You make this kind of shot, you've got some skills. He knows he's fouled, so he knows he's going to throw it up there. But he throws it up there with control. And he knows to put it off the bank, off the board. But, no matter how good someone is like that, you've got to be a very special young player to carry a team.
Yeah,
he's not there yet.
And also, too, Roz had asked Steve and Steph about a rebuilding situation. Losing can wear on young players. Okafor was not losing at Duke. Nerlens Noel was not losing at Kentucky. And I don't care what the future may hold for your team. If you're rolling out 60+ lost seasons over and over, that develops a lot of bad habits for young players.
Yeah, because you can tend to get used to that and accept it.
Yeah. And you start worrying about your own numbers and things of that nature.
You start making excuses.
And that's where Brett Brown, as Ian Clark, could follow his own shot.
But there are two defenders there. That may be the worst defensive play I've ever seen tonight. Really, two guys, and they give him the angle and the lane to the rim. I'm sorry.
Cannon, we've seen him make threes. This time, drawing the foul on the drive. But you talk to opposing scouts who look at Philly, and they say Brett Brown is coaching every possession on offense and defense. And you have to have that mindset. When you tell the players, hey, don't look at the score, worry about how you're playing, you have to have a coach who's going to do that too. He's not looking, hey, we're down 20, just roll it out for the final quarter. He's involved in trying to make these guys better. He got a 3-year contract extension to do the same. And speaking of coaches, the Coaching Corps Awards, the Game Changer Award, that's tomorrow after the Warrior Knicks with Hunter Pence and Steph Curry, Tara Vanderveer, Stephen Vogt. A great event that will be broadcast on Comcast. We'll see our friend Roz is on that broadcast.
Beautiful venue where they had it.
You love that guys like Steph would have Coach McKillop from Davidson out there and honor him and take that time to just let him know what a difference he made in his life. Barbosa attacking. Covington will outlet to Cannon.
Saw that look on the bench here. Jarron Collins and Stephen Curry.
Deep two by McConnell.
They're serious about the game, but they find joy in the midst of a game.
Yeah.
They really do. Nice backdoor. Just couldn't pick it up off the floor. It had a layup.
But for Jason Thompson, that's the right idea. That was a good look. Saw Mo Spates with some good passing earlier. Covington just ticking iron, and McConnell will track it down. Okafor, what a move! And flipping it up and in. That's a 7-footer with a little shake along the baseline.
A little juke there.
That's
a little Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yes, that's exactly right. And there was some good handle for a center.
Handle and feet.
And then Covington stealing it.
Well, the Warriors are bound to let Philadelphia get back into it.
Cannon missing that three. And The battle for the rebound. They had a 24-point lead. It's at 14 right now.
And Philadelphia's been a little out of sync too, but turnovers have just helped them.
And the field goal and the foul on Ian Clark. So who is the rookie of the year? We'll see Porzingis tomorrow. And for Okafor,
step back and then the continuation. That's what a guard would do. You'd see a guy lean the wrong way. This is a heck of a finish here by Ian Clark. And he got fouled in the process too. But Okafor's move down there, you know, a lot of guards would do that. They start to back up and then they go. They freeze the defender, nail him to the floor, if you will, glue him to the floor. And that's exactly what he did.
He did that with his left hand.
Yes, and
that was impressive.
And he's 6'11".
That was nice. Okafor has 13. He averages 17. Smith will miss that three. Final 7 seconds of the third. Bosa. Those floaters are beautiful.
Phillies missed all 7 attempted threes this quarter. They had 7 at the half. They've got 7 now.
Couple buckets to finish off the third. Pushes the lead back to 19 as the Warriors head into the fourth. Our Toyota game summary. First of 3 on the East Coast. It was Klay Thompson rolling early. He's got a game-high 28. And another brilliant first half for Klay. Isaiah Cannon hit 4 threes. Bogut typified the terrific passing, tying the franchise record, 26 assists in that first half. And then kind of an indifferent third quarter, really both ways.
So many turnovers there. It takes the ball out of your hands. You're not able to score. Philadelphia shot at the ball poorly in that quarter. They did not keep up the pace from three-point range. And yet, they're still 19 down. I think they were down 19 at half.
Iguodala resting. And Ezeli and McAdoo not playing. Okafor's been kind of fun to watch. He has some skills.
Well, he also has some basketball IQ. He senses when you're going to get in trouble, gets rid of the ball.
If you're wondering, Ish Smith, why he had bounced around with a number of different teams, is the jumper is the problem. You saw the shot clock winding down. Ish is 2 of 12 shooting tonight. He's improved that, but tonight he's just struggling shooting the ball.
And there's a mismatch here, and no one's coming to help.
Livingston, the backboard got him.
Tough to bank it from that angle.
Yes.
You can do that when you're hot. And that's when you know you're really hot, when you shoot one from the baseline and just grazes the side of the backboard.
Goes in.
And that happens when you're hot. See downtown Freddie Brown do that when he lit us up for 58 with no three-point line.
Well, Spades hitting the jumper. Now, let's be fair here. Freddie Brown had the 58, but I think the guys that guarded him combined for more points than he scored.
Well, there were only 2 people guarded him. That was Butch Beard and myself.
Right.
He got 58. Yeah, we got 59.
There we go. Finish the story. Come on. You guys were +1 at the off guard that night.
One of us had 30, the other had 29. It's the funniest stat sheet. Butch and I.
I love that story, though.
I'll see Butch tomorrow in New York. He'll be coming around, and I think I'll mention that. Well, he may be listening tonight and hear that.
Those are 2 of my favorites. Is Freddie Brown had 58, but Jim and Butch had 59. All right, +1 for the team. And then the night that Alvin and Wilt combined for 117.
Yes, Wilt had 100, and Al was 8 for 8, though, 1 for 1 from the line.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Well, that's why I was teasing Jason Thompson. He and Klay had 51 together the other night.
And while we're sitting here doing this, it's a 16-point game. See if they can take care of the ball here. Just execute.
Yeah, this is what Steve Kerr's talking about. Keep running our stuff. Play the way the Warriors are supposed to play. Speights missing. Speights extra effort. Speights still. And the Warriors come up empty. For lack of aggression and effort on the glass. Cannon and McConnell playing with Covington, Nerlens Noel, and Ish Smith. It's a small Philly group, but some scrappy shooters. And McConnell, I like him.
So do I.
He plays hard.
and smart.
Steph Curry will not get this fourth quarter off. Seeing Klay Thompson come to the scorer's table. 9 minutes and a 14-point NBA game is nothing. You start to fool around too much, you're going to have a problem, and the Warriors are kind of dead in the water offensively. 39 in the second, only 18 in the third. And a lot of the momentum just went out of the building at halftime, and for the Sixers, they're not going to stop playing. They've cut the 24-point deficit in half. And they've scored the last 7, and Steve Kerr's going to use a timeout. 8:53 remaining, and the Sixers making a bit of a move. The Warriors have missed 14 of their last 18 shots, and it's become a 12-point game. And so the Splash Brothers are coming back in. And our Lexus Pursuit of Perfection, this is the highest scoring duo in the NBA. And year by year, they get better and better and better, where this year, combining for nearly 51 a game as a backcourt.
There's so many stats and so many things that we look at, analytics. But I would think number 2 would be Westbrook and Durant. Is there any challenge to that?
No, those guys are awfully good.
And of course, when, back in the early 60s, it was always Wilt and anybody else on his team.
Okay.
When he averaged 50 himself, you could throw in some guy averaging 6.
Well, Wilt and I carried that team. We averaged 58 together that season. He had his 50, I had my little 8 points.
Uh-oh.
And knocked away by Covington. And Draymond's got to commit the foul. So Mo Spates is in with Draymond Green, Harrison, and Stephen Klay.
They've got to get sharper.
Well, you're talking about 9 turnovers in the first half, already 8 in the second half, and then the Warriors have missed 14 of their last 18 shots. And they're shooting 31%, which makes the Sixers 41% shooting in the second half look good.
And the Sixers have missed some opportunities off those turnovers.
And you now have a 10-point game.
Not that time. All right, let's see how the Warriors respond.
Said last year was 89-84, and kind of a mixed bag performance. It's a 19-point lead at halftime, and a lot of brilliance. Not so much in the second half, and Steph Curry, he settles everything down with a 3.
Well, he does understand the moment. He recognizes it, and he seems to pull it off more often than not.
McConnell, nice lob to Nerlens Noel.
Now, you lose contact with Noel around the lane. He is as good as anybody with that. You can't front him. You can't leave him and let him go free, because they use that lob a lot.
Klay can shoot right over his Smith, and he knows it. You know what we haven't seen a lot, Jim, is Nerlens Noel with Okafor. Could you play Noel at the 4 and Okafor at the 5?
If they had Bogut and Spates in there at the same time, probably the only way.
Smith with the handles. Noel tried to get it to Covington.
You don't want to make a 2-foot pass.
Oh,
with your 2
Curry
feet.
360, but couldn't finish.
Philadelphia overpassed on that last possession, particularly when you're in the lane.
Covington missing the 3.
They're fortunate that he's been a little cold today.
Yeah, Covington is 4 of 9. He's got 10. Jeremy Grant's got 10. Draymond Green. The Warriors have left a couple layups astray.
He wasn't looking for a foul there, I don't believe, as he raised his hands. He just missed the shot.
So Brett Brown's going to use a timeout. Sixers are in the game. 6:43 left and a 13-point Warrior advantage.
Roundtable's brought 2 great flavors. .com and NBC Sports Live Extra.
Warriors-Knicks tomorrow, and then right after the game, the Coaching Corps Game Changer Awards with Steph Curry and Hunter Pence. Tara Vanderveer getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and really nice moment with Steph and Bob McKillop, and It's something you will want to check out right here on CSN Bay Area after the Knicks game tomorrow night. Now, just because we have people that follow our games with a sick sense of humor.
Yes.
The year Wilt scored 50, he actually combined with Paul Arizin, who had 21.9 that year. So as a tandem, that's not bad. 72.3 between the two of them on that team.
Paul Arizin, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
One of my early heroes. Very early.
So Bogut back in. Steve Kerr's had to put the starters back in the ballgame. The lob from Curry to Bogut, and it's been that kind of second half. That's a shot Andrew does not miss. And then Curry with a blocking foul, and he's not pleased.
Let's see if he gets there in time. But he did stop. He didn't move. Pretty good defense for him, I'd say.
Covington dropping inside. Noel had nowhere to go.
See, this is overpassing again.
It's a 3-second violation. Sixers did not vacate the lane. We check in with Roz.
Last time out, Steve Kerr challenged the team. He said it's 0-0 right now. Let's see what we can do for the next 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I want to get back to playing the way we can play. 3 minutes, it's 0-0.
All right. I think that's what Steve Kerr tries to do as far as give your team something to work on and motivate them. So 2-0 as Klay Thompson lays it in.
Well, they've been playing like it's, you know, just a game at the YMCA. And you can get away with that part of the time, but sometimes you're going to get bitten. They were bitten in Detroit, but it actually kind of motivated them. So look at this.
You're just not going to see that very often. I mean, Steph just took it and almost dribbled it out of bounds to turn it over.
He's got 5 turnovers. Draymond Green has 6.
Yeah,
these are your all-stars.
Deep 2 by Hollis Thompson, and Bogut another rebound. And there's another Curry turnover. It was 13 when the starters came back in. It's still 13. And now it's the Sixers. In Steve Kerr's imaginary game, it's Philadelphia winning 5-2.
Warriors had 9 3-pointers made at half. They've got 10. The Sixers now have 9 made themselves.
Nerlens Noel knocked it out of bounds.
Everything is going wrong here. It's disjointed. They're out of rhythm. And field goals aren't going down.
Now they're losing the quarter by 9. Shot clock at 3. And Steph just a kind of a wild runner.
That was a prayer.
And knocked out of bounds. The Warriors get a new 24. So at one point this game was 49-41. The Warriors built a 24-point lead. And now that it's down to 10, this is the closest it's been since that 49-41 mark. Harrison Barnes roofed.
Well, he pump fake, got 1 to move, but there were 2 defenders. Nowhere to go.
Cannon missing that 3. Klay Thompson the bailout, and when he's missing that shot, you know everything is off.
Steph Curry effect was in full bloom there.
Draymond blocking that shot.
They did that last little cross there. 2 men stayed at Steph Curry, and Thompson will never have an easier one.
Curry another 3. So in the 3-minute Steve Kerr game, it's a tie. The 13-point lead when the starters came in is still at 13. And the Curry 2 threes keeping Philly at bay. The eternal battle in Philadelphia, Pat or Geno's? Who makes the best Philly cheesesteak? And you decide. With the Warriors leading by 13.
Didn't go this year.
The Rams shot of the game. 2 of Andrew Bogut's, 8 points to go with 16 rebounds and 4 assists. The big man getting it done in 24 minutes. But the Warriors just trying to get through this final 3:44. Think about a very good first half of basketball and a very indifferent second half.
Yep. They've gone through a period where they seemed disinterested. And then they try to wake themselves up, and then sometimes it gets too late. But they had such a big lead one time with the 24. And Philadelphia still does not have the firepower and the consistency to come back and sustain it. But I'll tell you what, I never would have thought the Warriors would have 7 more turnovers than Philadelphia, when Philadelphia ranks last in the league.
I wonder these final 340. You know, Bogut's career high in rebounds is 20. The season high is 18. He had that in Brooklyn. He's got 16 rebounds in 24 minutes, which is ridiculously good. And they throw the high lob to Noel, and he draws the foul. And like you said, Jim, that's a very effective part of his game.
He looks for it all the time. And they look for him. Well, if you give him free reign and get a little space, he'll burn you with it.
You think of these #1 picks: Okafor, Embiid, Michael Carter-Williams, Mo Harkless, Vucevic, and Evan Turner. And they acquired Nerlens Noel for Drew Holiday. Slate night, presented by DraftKings. That will be that special 6 p.m. start. First look at the Thunder the night before the Super Bowl. Be there at 888-GSW-HOOP.
You know, one thing about Noel, you forget. He played in 75 games last year, 71 starts. So he's got a little experience.
No, he's one of the building blocks. There's no doubt about it.
He averaged 10 a game, 9.9.
Steph Curry, front iron on that 3. My question is, Noel a 4 or a 5, Jim? He only weighs 220 pounds. I don't know that he can play 5, but the game is changing. And there's the lob again.
Let me ask you this. What kind of 20-foot jump shot does he have?
Well,
yes.
Jim, I guess he's a 5.
There you go. Okay.
He doesn't have the handle Okafor has either.
No.
That's a good way to say it. You're not playing 4 in this league if you can't hit a jumper. Draymond, another turnover. Nerlens Noel, by the way, with the advanced analytics, 14 to 18 feet away from the basket, is shooting 9%.
That's the point.
Yes, and you made it more diplomatically. The Warrior lead at 11, and Ish Smith a couple free throws. But the rebuild in Philly, all those #1 picks. Okafor, okay. Embiid and Elfrid Payton have been a 0. Michael Carter-Williams is actually now the Laker pick. Mo Harkless, Vucevic, the Andrew Bynum trade may have set this team back the most, because he became nothing in Philadelphia, and you gave up Vucevic, who's quite a good player.
Yep. In Orlando, he's very, very good.
And to finish off that Michael Carter-Williams pick, if the Lakers are bottom 3, they keep it. If they're not bottom 3, it goes back here to Philly. Thompson 3. It's an air ball. For a 10-point game.
Philly knows they have one little push here.
And Cannon, that was the push right there. He needed to hit that 3. Double-digit lead with 2:13 left. You're playing the clock and the Sixers right now. And Cannon the steal. Setting up Covington. But this one not quite over yet.
say last year, 89-84. A little more high scoring, but just as precarious right now.
This is a 19-point Warrior lead heading into the fourth, and they've been outplayed in this fourth quarter. Curry had it knocked out of bounds.
The crowd has come alive a little bit with a little bit of hope. Just put the ball and expose it right in front of him in the quick hands of Covington.
Now they're going to go to replay here to see who touched the ball last. And I think what Brian Forte did is he said, I'm not going to call the foul, but I'm going to give the Warriors the ball. But Ronnie Garretson is going to go to the Ring Central replay review.
Did Steph Curry touch it? We've seen a couple of plays like that already tonight.
So Ring Central, business communication made simple.
Going to reach around right there. Looks like he didn't even get the ball. You say they didn't call a foul, they should have.
Well, what I'm saying is Brian Forte gave the Warriors the ball instead of calling that obvious foul.
And it went off Curry.
And
it appears to me
Steph may have touched the ball last.
And they can't go right now and make a foul call.
No, they cannot.
Cannot do that. You can't go back and say, oh, I missed that foul. It's a foul. Looks like Philly may get a possession.
We see similar things in rebounding situations where someone goes over the back and they say, well, he went over the back. It may have touched the inside guy. I'm not going to call a foul. I'm going to give you possession of the ball.
Right.
Problem is, if you go to replay under 2 minutes, then
you've got to change your mind if it's obvious.
Steph was fouled, and they elected not to call it, and that's fine. But the double whammy is they're going to give the Sixers the ball. So it's the worst of every world. And
Cannon never touched the ball.
And so now, all he did was foul Steph. So an 8-point lead, and it goes as another turnover. 13 second-half turnovers. And 5 of 21 shooting in the fourth.
Well, you want to win, and maybe underneath all that, the coaching staff will say, okay, well, they'll be ready in New York.
Well, they need to stop here.
Certainly.
Philly hits a 3, and you got a game. And there's the lob to make it a 6-point game.
That was a setup play. Setup play. Ish, you beat Curry. Bogut will come. In Nerlens, you just go to the hoop, and you know what's going to happen.
It's a 2-possession ball game. Bogut rolling. He missed a layup.
Missed a dunk, missed a layup. Well,
5 of 22 shooting.
Philly's getting lots of help here from their opposition tonight.
And it's Smith. Makes it a 4-point game. 9 unanswered by the Sixers. And with 1:01 remaining, Steve Kerr will use a timeout. So, as ugly a quarter as we've seen the Warriors play all year. And just allowing Philadelphia to get back into the game, and now with a threat to win the game.
You hate to even say that. You hate to even think after they dominated, controlled this entire game, that could be a possibility. But you're right, it is. And we talked about Detroit and a loss there. That was the worst loss of the year up to that point. This would be, without question, the worst loss of the year if they cannot hang on here and win this game.
They've won 92 straight games when they had a 15-point lead or more. They've never blown any game when they led by 15. They led this game by 24 points. So when you won 92 straight and never relinquish a loss in those scenarios, this becomes incredible.
When you get casual, you get nonchalant about playing, you miss dunks, you miss layups, you miss shots that you normally would make, and the other team comes forth and they make their shots.
Klay Thompson's 32 leads the way. on 14 of 26 shooting. But a Warrior team that had 73 in the first half has 30 points in the second half.
They scored the most points by any opposing team against Philadelphia in the first half tonight. No team had reached that pinnacle. And then it all goes flat. Well, sloppy play. Yeah, first of all,
they come out with a small lineup here. So Livingston is in.
Well, they need to take care of the ball, right?
With Draymond and Harrison, Stephen Clay. Protecting a 4-point lead. Curry in among the trees to lay it in.
No time to relax. Still a 2-possession game.
You'd like to keep them off the 3-point line if you had a choice. And Brett Brown will use a timeout. It's set up for Philly to go 2 for 1, but they almost need both of those to be threes. So out of the timeout, you give it to the MVP through the defense to make it a 6-point lead. And Steph with 23 and the lead back to half a dozen.
Subaru. A Subaru.
So the Warrior lead at 6 with 40.4. And the amazing 73-point first half with 26 assists. And the Warriors have missed 25 of 34 shots in the second half. Clay and Steph leading the way. Now it's up to the defense.
I'm with you. They've got to take a 3.
They need 2 threes. Cannon's made a bunch. He hits another one and he's fouled. That's a chance for a 4-point play.
And that takes the pressure off. If they get a stop when the Warriors have the ball, it's not necessary to shoot a 3 to tie. They get one here and a free throw if he makes it.
So credit Brett Brown with a great out of bounds. Steph got there late and got him on the wrist.
It's a miracle shot, but as I said, when all of a sudden your game goes down like that and you're lethargic, the opposition somehow comes alive, and they've been hitting shots. We had the lob from Ish Smith to Noel. We had his 2-pointer. Then we just witnessed a 4-point play.
So Cannon's got 18. And it's a 2-point lead, and Philly will get the ball again.
They're down to their last timeout. Warriors have 2 timeouts. You get in trouble here, call a timeout. Oh, man, they're in trouble.
It's stolen! The Sixers are going to tie it! So 22 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Tied at 105. Philadelphia on a 15-2 run. And the Warriors didn't even get a shot attempt. Had it stolen at midcourt.
That's what I was saying. Any kind of pressure there, you got 2 timeouts. Use one rather than lose possession. As I was saying that, the possession was taken away.
Well, now the mission is pretty clear. With no shot clock involved, you take it down to the end.
You got that right. Get the last shot.
And you win and walk off, or you miss and you play 5 more minutes, and you try to restart your energy and momentum. You do not shoot to give Philadelphia a chance to beat you in regulation. That's the first thing.
Well, the Warriors today played a 45-minute ball game. And the last few minutes of the 45, he had one very good.
Now the Sixers...
This is a 48-minute game, folks.
Sixers have a foul to give here because the other oddity in this game, the Warriors are 1 for 2 from the foul line for the game. That would be a franchise record for fewest free throws ever and fewest makes ever in Warrior history. But the Sixers can have a foul to give, so...
They haven't even made a foul this whole quarter.
That's correct.
So the next one will be in the bonus, of course, after that.
Philly's been called for 8 fouls the whole game. So Livingston will handle. You want to take and make the last shot. And you want to do it with the clock expiring.
He can be the MVP. He can be the decoy here if men jump at him. He's looking to take the last one. And there it is.
Draymond for the win in the corner. Good! Harrison Barnes!
Perfectly executed, time-wise.
This game is over because under 3/10, by rule, you cannot catch and shoot. So you can't tap in a three.
They may change the game clock. That's always a possibility.
They are looking to review and replay the time.
Yeah, make sure it's a three. First of all, they will check. And then
Perfect execution by the Warriors.
Well, I thought Curry might go on his own, but he said, you know what? I'm double teamed. I'm going to find the open man. So you go right into the middle. That sucks everybody in, and then Harrison wide open. Bottom of the net. All the Philadelphia gets drawn into the painted area.
And so now Harrison's first points of the second half give the Warriors the 3-point lead, and they have adjusted it to .4. So now you do have time by rule to secure and attempt a three-pointer.
So the first rule here is defensively, you do not foul them when in the act of shooting a three-pointer. Well, you don't have time to give a foul and put them on the line for two. It's too dangerous.
The other thing, too, and you see this a lot, there's no reason to guard anyone inside the three-point line.
Without question.
You see guys run into the lane and back out and get screened. You need to play outside the arc.
Absolutely. No one should be inside that white arc. Give them a two if they want. Because the clock will expire upon catch and shoot, even if it's a layup.
So they made an announcement saying 0.4. The clock still stays at 0.2 right now. And Ronnie Garrison is talking to Steve Kerr. What a crazy outcome. If it stays at .2, the Warriors don't even need to be on the court.
Now, stay above the line.
Yeah,
anybody cuts, let him go.
This has got to be batted. They still have .2 on the clock. So by rule, it cannot be a catch and shoot three. So there is a catch and shoot three. It's not going to count. It's waved off automatically. Wouldn't matter if even if it gone. And the Warriors win 108-105. And for Philadelphia in front of a sellout crowd, good for the Sixers. They get a nice round of applause for a 15-2 run that tied the game against the world champs. 108-105. The Warriors win it. And not without drama. Win number 43 on the year, and Harrison Barnes, second game winner of his career. He did it against Phoenix a year ago. Warrior postgame live, a lot to talk about in a fourth quarter that didn't cost the Warriors. They win it on the Harrison Barnes three-pointer.
Well, I think today the losing coach is going to be happier than the winning coach. But that's the way sports is. 42-4 against 7-40. Warriors up 24, give it all away. But in the end, Steve Kerr diagrams a brilliant play. Steph out of the drag series screen to Draymond out of the double. Draymond in the corner to Harrison Barnes. And just very calmly, he rails the game winner to get the Warriors off the hook in Philadelphia. Let's go back to Wells Fargo Center. Check in with Roz.
Harrison, this was a game for you individually where you had to push through. Suddenly at the end of the game, an open corner three comes your way. How did you step up in that moment?
I just tried to shoot it and not think about it. You know, we knew they were going to trap Steph. Draymond found me, and I was going to make any shot in the second half. I mean, that was a shot to make.
It definitely was. And when Kerr's drawing that up, was it just to go into Steph's hands and let him make decisions, or is it to move it around for whoever's open?
I mean, we knew that they were going to trap him, get it out of his hands. So it was pretty much, look, if it's Clay, Draymond, myself, Sean, whoever it is, make a play. And they doubled him. I was open, and luckily it went in.
Is it a little frustrating that you guys didn't close out the game against this team?
Yeah, I mean, we let them get back in, just playing sloppy. But, that's something that we got to get better at. In these type of games, when we get up big, we got to stay that way. We can't let them get back in the game.
How can you make adjustments, especially for the starters who end up sitting during that time?
We got to be focused. I mean, we come out and start the second half, turn the ball over, taking some bad shots, not playing the defense we want to play. That just kind of leads into the trickle effect of everyone else doing the same thing. So we got to start our halves better and go from there.
The good news, last I checked, I think you had 37 assists on the game. It's 6 straight games with 30-plus assists for the Warriors. Last time that was done was for the Warriors in '94. So when you're moving the ball like that, does the scoring feel more easy? Are you less tired?
Yeah, I mean, it's letting everyone get involved. We're passing, moving, guys getting alley-oop dunks, wide open threes, layups. That's how we play. And when we can do that, consistently every single night, we got a good shot to win.
All right, thanks, HB.
Appreciate it.
Guys?
Yeah, they finished up with 37 assists, but 26 came in the first half when the assist-turnover ratio was 26-8 in the second half, 11-15. They won the game. That's all that matters, but they were not very good at all until the very end in the second half, or actually mid-third quarter on. Welcome to Honda Warriors Postgame Live. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Some sloppy ball handling, Saint. You were up 84-60 mid-third quarter. They come all the way back to tie you at 105.
Well, you got to tip your hat to these young 76ers. They had 8 guys in double figures. They were way, way down, and they did not quit. They kept competing. That was a set play with this Smith throwing that lob there to Noel. And, hey, they made the mid-range game and transition. They didn't have much of a three-point game going. And that was a full house. The only other time it's been full is for Kobe. Here's your last play. Now, this is earlier.
This is the one before where Steph scores to make it 105-99 off the drag screen. And you think you're in a good position, but Isaiah Cannon will make a 3 and get fouled, and he'll shoot his cannon for a 4-point play, Saint.
You never want to foul three-point shooters, and there's the best player in the game. And, that's a ticky-tack fall, but that's what the refs are taught to call.
Here's the turnover. Now, is he waiting for Clay to come over to set a screen? He throws it to Clay, and the ball gets tipped away by Cannon, and Ish Smith ties it at 105.
Well, that's miscommunication there. And between Clay, Steph, and Draymond, they had 19 turnovers. Now, here, watch this. The double team on Steph dictates you hit the guy in the slot where Draymond was. Draymond didn't feel pressure, but he knew he saw Harrison in that right corner, and that's typical Draymond right there. A great decision. I'm sitting there saying, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. Bang, it goes right to the corner.
Look at Steve Kerr's reaction.
Look at Steve Kerr.
See him on the bench with his face in his
chin,
his chin and his hand there. He did not move at all. He diagrammed that last play. But again, this is one of those situations where the losing coach is going to be far more unhappy than the winning coach. So they did win the game, but they did play down. They seemed to stop. After they got it up to 84-60, they just stopped and let Philadelphia get back into the game.
This can happen on the road especially, not as much at home. And you come out in the third period, and you're playing beautiful in the first half. 26 assists, club record. You come out the second half, and you're turning it over. You're not making shots. You give the other team some momentum, some belief, and they're chipping away. The only other time they've been sold out is for Kobe Bryant's game there. So all of a sudden they have a belief, and you can't get it going. And then your subs come in, and they don't play any better than the first team. You have to bring back the starters, and they don't have anything. Second half was a nightmare. That's why you play 82.
Fourth quarter was one of the worst they played. Outscored 33-17, but they just hang on to win it. Let's go courtside to South Philadelphia, the Wells Fargo Center. Bring Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett into Honda Warriors Postgame Live. And you guys said it before the game. It's on the whiteboard before the game. Don't play down to the competition's level. Play up to your standard. They did for the first 2 quarters and half of the third quarter, and then they seemed like it often happens in the NBA. It just happens where they seem to turn it off from that point forward, and luckily got out of there with a victory.
No, I mean, that's the whole point, Greg, is that when you look at 93 straight times now, when they have a 15-point lead at some point in the game, they don't lose. And tonight would have been a disaster. The other issue, too, is if you want to talk about 72 wins, you don't lose games like this. And they were a play away from losing, and yet they're so good that a beautifully designed play, and Harrison wins it.
Well, they got very fortunate there, but they stopped playing in the second half. It started late in that third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, they had 7 more turnovers in the fourth quarter. And we're talking about all-stars making those mistakes like that. And when you do that, all of a sudden, you think, well, we can turn it on. And you get lulled into that, then, like Andrew Bogut, missed a dunk, missed a layup. Things just don't work. You keep turning the ball over, and then that inspires the opposition. That inspired the 76ers, and then they feel invincible. They think they have everything going for them, and they made all the great plays, start hitting their shots, and all of a sudden you've got a basketball game, because 3.5 minutes to go in the game, the Warriors had a 13-point lead,
right,
and it dissipated just like that.
Yeah, and the other thing too is it was a history game. 1 made free throw, 2 free throws attempted. Never in Warrior history. These are now franchise lows, and so even plays like the out-of-bounds play where Steph was fouled, you let a game get close, now a call here or there, or a 4-point play or something, it can cost you.
Yeah, and it's amazing. This is a good young club, and this is the applause like you talked about at the end of the game. You know, it still goes in the loss column for Philadelphia, but they've got to feel pretty good about themselves, and this will only encourage them in the future.
Yeah, so 89-84 a year ago, Greg, a three-pointer at the buzzer basically to win it. The Warriors will take the wins, but the Sixers, credit them for making it a great game.
All right, and you guys are flying to New York City. You're not busing or taking the train. They're flying to New York City, so safe travel. Let's start with the good part, Saint. They had 26 assists in the first half to tie a franchise record. The ball was just humming. As Rod said with the interview with HB, they finished with 37 assists, so 6 straight games of 30 or more assists. Not been done in the NBA since April of '94 when the Golden State Warriors did it during Chris Webber's rookie year. That was the year Hardaway was hurt and Avery Johnson and point guard, but Mullen and Sprewell, they were all good passers, but they were just carving them up in the first half, Saint. The assist-turnover ratio was 26-8.
And, Pop, maybe the best one was Bogue's three-quarter court bounce pass to finish off the half. Unbelievable pass by your center.
So another 30-assist game, again, 6 in a row. First time any team has done it. And ironically, it was the Warriors of 93-94. Avery Johnson, Latrell Sprewell, Chris Mullen, Billy Owens, who came to the Mitch Richmond deal that year, a great passer. Chris Webber, a really good passer at power forward. And don't forget Keith, Mr. Jennings, playing off the bench. So your key at halftime was knock them out. In a city that's given us the great Smokin' Joe Frazier and probably the more well-known Rocky Balboa, they had him on the ropes, Saint. They stretched the lead from 19 at half to 24 mid-third quarter, but it was not a knockout. It was a standing 8 count. And the Sixers came off the ropes. And then just what happened? We see it in the NBA with other teams. It doesn't happen to the Warriors very much, but it's just human nature to get sloppy with the ball when you have this 2-dozen-point lead and just stop playing. And the Warriors just stopped.
Well, they did. And I have to say to you, this becomes infectious. When you are getting assists, that's infectious. Making shots, same thing. But right here, that's a nice attempt on the bounce pass, but the hands aren't there. There's a back cut, but there's a white shirt there. Everything is, you know, not necessarily the Philadelphia defense. A lot of them were just mistakes by the Warrior guys. And I'd like to say I've never seen this before, but this happens. Yeah. And listen, to get cut to the chase, great timeout by Steve. He draws up their favorite play. He knew they were going to double team him. That's the preparation of the staff. Then your players go out there and execute it absolutely perfect. And you walk away with a win. And the coaches are like this, and the players are like, on to New York.
You see Steve Curry's like that.
He like this.
He's like, I really had to diagram that last play to win the game, and we were up 24 playing a team that's 7-40. So this is one of those ties. It doesn't happen very often where the losing team is going to be delirious. Yeah. We almost beat the 42-4 Warriors.
Cheesesteaks in the locker room.
The team that won, or maybe Bookbinder's Lobster. Oh. They're actually flying to New York. No train, no bus ride. I mean, it's going to take longer to get to the airport and taxi and all that. In any event, it got a little dicey. 105, but they diagrammed the game winner, and Harrison Barnes from the right corner, Saint. What is he from that right corner? Usually 76%, but on that shot, 100%.
Beautiful.
Warriors post-game live.
Yeah, we're happy we are the Papa Bear, but it almost turned out to be not Happy Bear. 108-105 Warriors. They were up by 24, 84-60, a couple of junctures the last time mid-third quarter. Gave it all away. We're tied at 105 in the end. Harrison Barnes bails them out as the Warriors in the second half are just ghastly, and they combined to commit 23 turnovers. 19 turnovers combined by their 3 All-Stars. So let's get the thoughts of the head coach. Steve Kerr has been around this league for a long time and knew it was coming.
I could feel it coming. That's the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. We completely messed around with the game, and we probably should have lost. If the gods delivered what should have happened. We probably should have lost because that's what happens when you mess around with the game and with the ball. And we had 23 turnovers, and after a beautiful first half of ball movement, we totally got away from our game and lost our focus. But Harrison bailed us out, and Draymond made a great pass and at the end. But yeah, that was pretty ugly.
Surprising, or maybe human nature, I guess, at that point when things like that happen?
It shouldn't be human nature. I mean, this is the NBA. Everybody has talent, and the beauty of our game is in the execution, is in sharing the ball, making the simple play, and letting plays happen. And I thought in the third quarter, our starting group came out with no focus and just trying to do everything on their own. And that's why I yanked them all out at one time, and that screwed up our second half rotation. So I definitely didn't coach a very good game, but we got away with it.
What were the options on that final shot where Draymond found Harrison?
Well, you saw the options. It was, we're going to run it all the way down and bring Steph off of Draymond's screen. And Steph made a great play to get it to Draymond. And then once Draymond had it in the middle of the floor, the defense had to react. And he made a great pass to Harrison.
Steve, how hard is it? You're playing a team that's, I don't even know if it's 6 or 7 wins. You're up by a big number. To get a team that's this good, to be motivated all the time when you come out?
The motivation should come in a game like this where we have a big lead. The motivation should come in helping the guys on the bench get some good playing time. If we put that game away in the third quarter, we got a bunch of guys out there who don't play a whole lot who are all able to play the fourth, and that's being a good teammate. So sometimes it's taking care of business so that other guys can get out on the floor, and that didn't happen tonight, obviously.
They're both. All right, let's go inside the paint, brought to you by Bay Area Mini. Bring our Warrior Insider at CSNBayArea.com, Monty Poole, into Honda Warriors postgame live. Greg Papa and Gary St. Jean alongside Monty. So they actually stretched the lead out, 19.5 to 24 mid-third quarter. He pulled all 5 starters out. He went to the bench. Andre Iguodala didn't play. He would have been on the floor maybe to calm things a little bit, Monty. But what happened?
Well, the bench wasn't that bad because they still had a 19-point lead going into the fourth quarter. So they were in good shape. But the fourth quarter was an absolute mess. And you saw this team, which had such a beautiful first quarter, come out in the fourth quarter and put away time and did not put the game away at all. The reserves didn't play well. The starters didn't play well. Everything went wrong in the fourth quarter. And for a team that values itself and values the ball as much as it does, this is just something that shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't have this kind of finish in a game when you play the next day. Like Steve said, you want the guys who don't play much to play the fourth quarter. They could use the playing time, and you could use the rest. They didn't get it. They don't deserve it.
We all, we look at a game like this and we say, how does it happen? In reality, how does it not happen more often to this team? We see it in the NBA all the time, Saint, where great teams kind of toy with you. And the Warriors just had a huge lead, and they could not get it going again. It reminds me of the game against the Pacers on the road, where they had to bring Clay back, and they had a huge lead. We're outscored 40-20 in the fourth quarter. He gets hurt, and you wind up losing to Milwaukee at the end. But this is kind of what happens in the NBA, but it doesn't happen that much to this team to this extent.
It's such a long season, and it's a marathon. And when you go out on the road, you expect the unexpected. And Steve's right on what he's talking about. The only silver lining is nobody played more than 34 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. That's pretty close for the 4 guys that are starting with Bogues. That's almost their minute allotment. So they didn't really have to play him an overextended amount of time. But this is a game you take some lessons from. You really do. You could
kind of understand a little bit of a mental letdown in this game because it's the Sixers and you're playing tomorrow in New York and all that. But some of that stuff in the fourth quarter, the sloppiness that you saw, the turnovers that you saw, this team is above that. They're too good for that. So to have them go and do this in this kind of a game against this kind of a team, Steve was right. This is a game they probably should have lost. Yeah. And so with this Sixers team, fortunately, there wasn't quite enough to pull it out. And fortunately for them, they played well enough in the first half to kind of hang on.
They were playing so well the previous 5 games in the first half. Tonight, they were just on fire. They actually got off to a slow start tonight. They were down 17-10. Our BMW turning point, Monty's going to be what they did. It was 17-10 Philly with 6.5 to go in the first quarter. They go off on a 15-0 run. And in the span of a little over 3 minutes, they take that 7-point deficit, turn it into an 8-point lead, and you're up 19.5. You're up by 24. So this little spurt gave them a little deposit in the bank where they could play so bad the last 18 minutes and still win the game.
No, if not for the first 2 quarters and even early third quarter, they don't win this game. I mean, they had to build a lead because they were so awful in the fourth quarter. It was just one of those things where, of course, they want to forget it. And, you know, Steph Curry, one of the things about Steph that you have to enjoy and have to like, and I talked to his college coach about this very thing. He said, one of the things that struck me about Steph Curry when I first saw him is that he forgets. You know, he can make a mistake, 3 mistakes, 5 mistakes, and it doesn't affect him. He still talks to his teammates. He still comes right back to the same confidence. He just has no memory of what just happened. He goes right to the next one. So
coaches are preaching that all the time.
Yeah.
But don't have a lot of great players that can do that.
Yep.
I remember a game Michael Jordan was 2 for 24. Yeah. On the 25th shot, he hit it at the buzzer to win the game. That's the way the great ones are. So, we'll come back. The highlight zone is going to feel like the real Twilight Zone. Did they blow a 24-point lose to a 7-40 team and almost lose the game? But we did have some good moments along the way, including, look at Andrew Bogut get up over the first Noel and dunk on Nerlens. Nicely done.